Hi guys, Jamie from Boxing Life, and welcome to the channel today. Today I've got a special guest. I've got Zico from the Fight Diary. Hi Zico, how's it
So
going, man?
going good, going good. Big month for boxing, so
Yeah,
really looking forward to all the boxing fights this month.
yeah, it should be really good. Lots of fights to go over,
Yeah,
and me and Zico are going to cover most of them in December. Just the main ones because there's just too many in the undercards and stuff
yes,
like that. But
there's a lot,
well, there's a
but
lot.
this is what boxing needs. We need
Exactly.
more months like this, and boxing's really going out with a bang in this month of December. So let's really looking forward to it.
Awesome. And before I start, make sure to head over to Zico's channel, which is the Fight Diary. Is that
Yes,
right,
the Fight
Zico?
Diary on YouTube and TikTok. Please, even one subscriber, and I'll be happy.
So yeah, guys, make sure to head over to Zico's
Yes,
page, and it's really good content over there. So
thank you, thank you.
first up, we got to talk about the fight just at the weekend there, and uh, Ryan Garcia was back in action against quite a tough opponent in Duarte. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
And
Duarte.
Duarte,
Honestly, I was a bit surprised Ryan took this fight with Oscar because looking from Oscar's past few fights, it really looked like a perfect counter to Ryan's style. Heavy pressure fighter, and he was knocking out a lot of people, but Ryan was able to get the job done.
yeah, that's the main thing. I think. Like even after in the press conference after he was saying like he was more scared. I don't know if he was just saying that, but like he felt the power of Duarte compared to Tank. He was like quite scared that this guy was
Yeah.
gonna like actually knock him out.
Yeah. Well, I think it might have also been because higher weight, so heavier hands. You feel it more. It, whereas tank, it just comes and then before you know it, you're down. But yeah,
Yeah,
that might have been what he was trying to say. But
yeah, uh,
still a really good fight.
yeah. No, I actually really enjoyed it, and that's the thing about Ryan Garcia. It's like I I totally understand he's got flaws in his approach, as we saw in
Funky
this fight.
style, pretty funky style. You know, he was doing. I don't even call it the Philly shell. I call it the turtle
uh,
shell because
yeah,
his back. It was his back. It was almost his
yeah,
back
yeah.
face towards the
I
guy.
know, man.
So I mean, and in the press conference, he actually said that that was like the first time he ever tried doing the Philly shell, and it kind of
Oh
worked.
man,
It was actually kind of working. I mean,
yeah,
Oscar Duarte was getting pretty annoyed and just
uh-huh.
couldn't really land anything on that
Yeah,
weird Philly shell style
I,
of Ryan Garcia.
yeah, and I think it didn't help. So he was obviously going into that Philly shell, and then kind of bending his back. So Duarte was hitting him like in the
Yeah,
back. So the
yeah,
referee was warning Duarte because of
yeah.
that. Yeah,
A new
Garcia
style,
was hiding away. Yeah, like it. Like
turtle shell.
I feel like the referee should have warned Ryan as well
Yeah,
for turning
yeah,
away so much, but he
yeah.
didn't. So Ryan kept doing it. So I
Mm,
totally don't blame Ryan for continuing using that
yeah.
strategy because it was working.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Um,
Oscar's punches would just punch like Ryan's back, and it was just Oscar being warned. But then it's funny because like where's Oscar supposed to punch if Ryan's
exactly.
back is faced towards you? So yeah, but if the referee doesn't tell you to stop, then you
Yeah,
keep doing it.
yeah, exactly. And then I guess like you have to give Duarte like some credit as well. He was putting the pressure on. He was landing those left hooks on Ryan, and Ryan looked a bit unsettled. I have to admit, and then he started moving a lot more, and I
Yeah,
felt his trainer Derek James did a good job. He clearly it's a trainer's worst nightmare. Obviously, right? They've been working on using like a high guard or whatnot, being very
then
disciplined.
you see your student do the complete opposite
Opposite,
of
exactly.
what you were taught.
Uh,
But yeah,
exactly. So it's a trainer's worst nightmare when you see something
yeah,
like that. But at the same time, I felt Derek James um, did a good job staying composed and calm. even
Yeah,
though Ryan was doing his own thing, he was like, you need to start moving more.
yeah,
Um, and that's what Ryan started doing. I thought he's actually looked okay moving on the back foot. Yeah, it looked like he was
yeah.
running a bit, and it would
But
have been better if he used the jab a bit more when he was doing it.
yeah,
But it worked in the end because it
yeah.
drew Duarte in. I don't know what you
Yeah.
thought about that,
But
Zico.
I also think that Ryan staying in that like weird Philly shell type of defense, when they both stayed at the middle, I think that really helped stop the momentum of Oscar going forward
Yep.
because with these pressure type guys, if you really just let them set the pace throughout the entire fight, and if you're the only one going back through all the rounds, they're gonna feel very determined. But Ryan was able to stop that momentum a bit, even though the defense was a bit weird when they were in the middle. But
Yeah.
stopping that momentum, definitely helped in the later rounds.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
Ryan, the thing about Ryan is that he wasn't just he was also giving something back. In Oscar's other fights, when he would punch guys, they would just shell up, and that's it. They wouldn't give anything back. But with Ryan,
Yeah.
he'd really make Oscar work
Yeah.
for it,
Oh,
and
definitely.
caught him with the perfect counter when
Yeah.
Oscar went in.
Yeah. And I think I commented on your channel, Zico,
Yeah,
that Oscar he leans in so forward, like,
yeah,
and he puts
got
too
caught.
much weight on that front foot.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not saying it's like style. There's obviously everyone has different styles, and it works. Obviously, it's worked for him so far, but you know because he was getting frustrated. He was putting more weight in that front foot, and he obviously tried to land the right hand on Ryan, and Ryan obviously countered him with the left, and that in turn opened up for him to use his quick combination, which
yeah,
favors Ryan. And
yeah.
yeah, like
Honestly, it was
it's frustrating to watch,
yeah,
but
but it
it's
works.
it worked. It
But
worked.
it was the exact same knockout he had with Fonseca. Like
Yeah.
they both came in with the straight, and
Uh,
Ryan just perfect check hook,
yeah.
and that's that. I mean, Ryan, funky as his style is, his twitch speed is just it's
Yeah.
really on a different level. That
Oh
that
yeah.
speed he has. So like, despite all of Ryan's technical flaws, you'll still see him punching with his hands low. He has so many of these physical attributes that kind of elevate him
Yeah.
above these other guys.
Exactly.
The speed,
Um,
especially.
yeah. The speed. Yeah. 100%. And the other thing I was going to ask you, Zico, what did you think of the stoppage? Like, do you think? I, I think it was probably right. He was clearly hurt, and he waited. He waited too late. If he had stepped up like on 9 when he was eight,
No,
nine,
yeah, yeah.
it
I
was too
agree. It was
close.
a good stoppage because I mean, as a boxer, you should already be getting back up by the 8 count. If
Hmm.
you're too dazed to even know it's already above the 8 count,
Yeah,
you probably can't continue. And then even after he stood up, like Oscar was still not really
yeah,
there. He was kind of dazed. Like, I saw him slip a bit to the ref, and then even after the fight, he still looked like he wasn't really sure where he is. So honestly, it was a perfect stoppage. I
yeah,
think it was good that the ref didn't let it continue, because even if the ref did, I feel like Oscar's feet was just gone. Even
yeah. No,
standing when he
uh,
stood up, it's like he had such a hard time, and it was kind of all over the place when he stood up.
yeah. No, I agree. I think right decision,
Yeah,
and no, I think yeah, you'll obviously feel a bit hard done by, but I think I'm sure you'll get another opportunity against someone else eventually.
yeah. I
But
mean,
I think
but
he's
this was a big opportunity for
yeah,
Oscar.
uh,
Well, never give up.
exactly,
Fighting,
exactly.
fighting, fighting.
And the other thing I was going to ask you, who would you like to see Ryan fight next?
Well, I feel like a fun fight would be the Rolly fight.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
fun.
I like that.
Just to kind of establish just to get more time with Ryan and Derek training and fix some of the technical flaws he has. So I would
Yeah,
like to see that for Ryan next. It's a good fun fight. They both dislike each other. They both
yeah,
have beef. You can
uh,
create drama. I mean, it's pretty much a money fight.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I
I think
think
a
it.
lot of people are gonna tune into that.
Yeah,
Rolly is truly a poet, uh,
power
truly
puncher. Oh,
poetic
poetic.
with
Or
his words and his trash talk. Oh yeah, and power puncher.
I do.
But
Yeah, yeah,
I think the build up to the fight is gonna be really funny.
yeah,
Rolly's a pretty funny guy on
yeah,
the mic. But yeah, basically power versus speed. Well,
yeah.
Ryan kind of has both. Speed is power, but
And the
it'd
thing
be
is, I just know Ryan's going to use that Philly shell. Well,
he probably
Ryan's
will.
Philly shell again,
He's,
But
no, they're not gonna train it at all in camp.
no, no, they're
And then
not. But he's
Ryan's
still going to
gonna
do it.
he's not gonna do it, and he's gonna use his back again.
Hundred
Turtle
percent.
shell,
Yeah, exactly.
turtle
The
shell.
turtle shell, exactly. Oh
But
man,
yeah,
yeah,
be
I'd
fun
like to
fight.
see that as well.
But how do you think he does up against one of the really elite guys at 140? This is 140,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Like
140. Go. Well, I guess
Teofimo,
we're Teofimo. I think
not yet,
Teofimo beats him. I think.
Haney.
I probably would favor Haney, but Ryan obviously does have power, and
He does.
I think I'm interested. Well, we're obviously just about to talk about it. Haney versus Prograis, um, and I think I'll have a better idea about Haney after that fight, whether he wins or loses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's tight between those two. I still think obviously they also have history as well. Obviously fought in the amateurs a lot.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
think
Haney
there's.
beat him every
I think
time?
no, they're 6-6. I think.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, not 6-6, 3-3. So they've fought 6 times. Um,
Okay.
Haney won three, Ryan won three. I think, from what I remember. I think I read that somewhere.
Oh,
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it's something like
oh,
that. So that could also set up that fight quite nicely.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I think I'd quite like to see that, or even a Teofimo fight.
Yeah.
Um,
I
or even
think Haney and Ryan is probably closer than
yeah,
Ryan and Teofimo.
yeah, I agree.
You think? You think?
Yeah,
But if there's one thing between them, I do think Ryan is a lot more fun to watch than Haney.
yeah, no, I agree.
He
I agree.
brings the action, so I think
Exactly.
he'll always have a lot of be a fan favorite.
Yeah, exactly. I would never recommend to follow his style, but
But it's fun to
definitely
watch.
he's fun to watch. And I think I said that in like one of my posts yesterday on social media, and someone's like, "How can you say he's fun to watch?" I'm like, "This is like boxing's an entertainment at the end of the day as
Yeah,
well. It's not
yeah,
just obviously I want to see guys use the correct fundamentals and do really well that way, but um, it's
yeah.
also as a
Screw
fan,
that.
you
Just
want to
just
see
go at
it
it.
fight
Just go at
exactly. So you need to be entertained by this sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes they're so focused on fundamentals and nothing happens in the fight. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Shakur and what was
Oh,
his name? Yeah,
uh,
I stopped
De La
watching.
Champ. Yeah. Oh, it was awful.
I stopped watching
It
it.
was so bad, Zico.
It
Don't
it
watch.
had.
Don't ever watch it.
I heard it broke a world record of
Yeah, the least
having the
amount of
least.
punches landed or something like that.
Yeah, and also
Crazy.
putting the most people to sleep.
Oh yeah, that too. Good point. Good point.
But yeah, but
Um,
at the end of the day, entertainment is important. But of course, we still want to see some good fundamentals. But
yeah,
if we're enjoying the fight, then yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is what it is. It's you're never going to please everyone at the end of the
yeah,
day. So,
yeah,
we'll move on. We're just going to briefly touch on the next fight. Was just Benavidez versus Andrade,
yeah.
and I know you didn't catch it, Zico, but
Yeah. Sorry,
do you
guys.
think?
I was at the beach, but I did see the highlights, and it went pretty much how also expected it to be.
Hmm.
Um, Andrade starting strong, and then
Yeah,
he was kind of like throwing these Manny Pacquiao type combinations,
Yeah,
just everywhere. But he couldn't
yeah,
keep up that pace, and
yeah,
eventually, um, Benavidez being the stalker he is, the stalker style he is, just slowly broke him down.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. No, he looked good in there. I have to admit. I think he, I think Andrade, he like you just said, Zico, he started quite fast. Got us some good combinations that broke through Benavidez' guard, but you could just tell Benavidez felt very comfortable like you just knew he could keep walking him down, and over
yeah,
time Andrade was going to tire, and that's exactly what happened. He started
yeah.
opening up, and yeah, he just beat him up in the end, really. And I've seen like a lot of people call him like a weight bully now and stuff, but like I don't know. I think he's probably he'll move up to like heavyweight soon. I reckon.
Eventually,
Probably like
I heard he does want to fight Bivol
yeah.
if the fight with Canelo can happen. And how
Uh,
do you think he fares up against Canelo?
I
You think he's
at the
ready
moment
or
I still slightly edge Canelo, uh,
same?
just slightly. Uh, it depends if they don't fight next year.
They should.
Going forward,
Cinco de Mayo is
yeah,
perfect for this
I
fight.
really hope. I really hope. But if they don't fight next year and this gets delayed again, another year, I'm gonna start. I'll probably start favoring Benavidez just because he's still younger. Canelo's getting older, and I've always said the longer Canelo leaves this fight, the less chance he has of winning. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But no, I think overall that fight was good performance, good win. Andrade, you know, he just couldn't, he hasn't fought enough top guys to go straight in with a guy like with Benavidez.
Yeah.
It was never going to end well.
And wasn't he not it wasn't he inactive for quite a while?
He was, yeah. I think
Andrade?
he fought once at the start of this
Yeah.
year, I think, or the
Mm,
end of last year. I can't remember,
yeah.
but yeah, he was just quite inactive, and
Yeah.
I don't think he'd actually beaten another champion in
Really?
his whole title run. Yeah, as a light
I
middleweight and
honestly
middleweight.
I don't even really know any of the people Andrade's fought.
Exactly,
Like when
exactly,
that's the thing about boxing, there's a lot of records, undefeated, but you don't know who they've actually fought.
exactly. Yeah,
Unlike the UFC, you have guys who are like, you know, 15 wins and 7 losses, but those losses are all
against like
big
the top
names.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So, Haney Prograis. All right, how do you have this, Zico?
I am having Haney winning this one. I think
Oh,
Haney's gonna be his. Oh, what is that? Oh, you disagree?
no, 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 no.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I have I do have Haney winning this. His with his usual style. Heavy on the jab, and then whenever Prograis gets close, he'll clinch because
Oh, yeah.
that's just Haney's style. Jab straight, and whenever the shorter man gets close, he'll
Tied
clinch
him
up.
up.
He'll clinch up almost like a wrestling takedown, and yeah, I've seen Prograis fight. He's a bit craftier than the other guys Haney
Yeah,
has fought, but I just think Haney's just such a master with the jab. It's like
yeah,
it's like he always seems to land it on guys, and guys just can't figure it out. So I think if Prograis can get through the the jab and work Haney on the inside without him being able to clinch up, then I think we could have a closer fight. But
yeah,
I don't really see that happening. And
yeah.
Haney's also very defensively sound. How about you?
So, I'm just about to finish my breakdown for this
Oh,
fight. So I'll get that
are we gonna
breakdown.
have a bet? Are you betting on
No,
Prograis?
no,
Let's
no.
bet.
I'm probably I'm a big Prograis fan, but I'm slightly, and I mean slightly, edging Haney for all the reasons you probably just discussed. I think Prograis, Prograis, he's not a pressure fighter by nature. As much as he's this kind of, he makes himself out to be this aggressive guy, and he's like he comes to fight. He is a much more natural counterpuncher himself, and I think when he's trying to close the distance, and just from watching him and analyzing him recently, he does these like weird shuffle movements. It's very obvious, or he does like he uses a lot of like upper body movement, and usually does a roll and then steps to put the pressure on. And I just feel like Haney is going to identify that pretty quickly, and he'll be able to counter him as he comes into range, unless Prograis changes it up. And because he's a very good feinter coming into range, he's very unpredictable and quite hard to read. So I think the first 6 rounds are going to be absolutely key for Prograis. He needs to hurt Haney in those first 6, like absolutely key for him if he has any chance of winning, in my opinion. But
Haney will.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Yeah, and Prograis throws, with his left hand, he throws this like kind of wide looping overhand left. It's very unpredictable, where he'll like interchange it to the head and the body. So can he maybe, use his feints to set Haney up with a big left upstairs? It'll be interesting to see how. But like you said, I just feel like Haney will really try and keep his distance using the jab, and then as soon as they're up close, he's going to clinch, like you said. And the thing
to add in some Muay Thai rules in this one.
Well, maybe Prograis, he says he's gonna fight this guy. So Prograis, I wouldn't necessarily say he's the best inside fighter in the world either. So I think Haney will be fancying his chances. But like I said, those first 6 rounds, if let's say Prograis gets him down or something, I think it could be a really interesting fight. Exactly.
But I feel like this is most likely going to be a decision in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Knowing Haney.
Could be I'm thinking kind of split decision. That's kind of my thoughts. I think it could be a close fight. I think first 6, Prograis, or even, I was watching the Haney Diaz fight, Jojo Diaz, again, and Haney actually does a good job in terms of like keeping in the center ring, and Prograis isn't like a Lomachenko fighting at a really fast pace. He's a much slower paced fighter, Prograis, so that suits Haney as well, I think, and he might be able to control and maintain the distance at that slower pace. But I guess see what Prograis does. I think he'll have a few tricks up his sleeve, but ultimately, I think Haney will probably get the job done if he's got a disciplined game plan. So that's my thoughts there. So I don't know if you've got any other thoughts on that fight, Zico.
Not really. I think you pretty much said everything I was thinking, and I just wish Loma. Speaking of Loma, I do wish he would also come back, because I would like to see the Haney Loma rematch as well. But Haney Prograis, I think, like what I said a while ago, Haney Prograis just won't be able to get through all of Haney's fundamentals. Really good jab, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I wanted to pick Prograis. I might regret it. But
you never know in boxing. I mean, Ngannou knocked down Fury. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Anything can happen.
And next up, we've got Rodriguez versus Edwards. So I know, Zico, you don't know too much about Edwards, but I can talk about him. But I know you're a big Bam Rodriguez fan. He's a great fighter. We're just talking about, before we came on, about his angles and how he moves. It's tremendous. But just what are your thoughts on Bam Rodriguez, and do you think he can be like a future star in the sport?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think the reality with it is harder to become a mainstream star in the smaller weight classes. But despite the size, Bam Rodriguez is a scary guy to deal with. When I saw his fight with Rong Versailles,
Yeah,
incredible angles, almost like as you said a while ago, almost like almost Lomachenko like.
yeah,
So angles like that are usually something we don't really see often. Usually it's only
yeah,
guys like Lomachenko who can really pull that off in a fight. But Bam Bam, he has all the tools needed to become a star, and looking forward to this fight with Edwards. A mini Tyson Fury. So
yeah,
it's quite the matchup. Like
yeah,
a guy who really utilizes angles versus this switch hitter type of guy. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't really know how this one will go, but I'm gonna root my boy. I'm gonna root Bam Bam
Yeah,
because I love his style.
yeah, yeah. I guess in terms of Edwards, like, no, I like his style. I think he's like a massive switch hitter. If you guys have watched him before, and yeah, he's very tricky to kind of to hit. He's very defensively minded as well. He can jab off both hands, and I think Bam will struggle in the early rounds trying to figure him out. However, I just feel like with Bam, he's just got kind of he's a very good pressure fighter as well, and he's great at coming forward. I think where Bam might struggle in this fight is because Edwards can switch stance so seamlessly, he might struggle to get off his angles as much. Or you never know, it might actually work in his favor if Edwards is changing too much. And yeah, I think I feel like in Bam, I don't know if you saw Bam's last fight, Zico, but he was a bit more one dimensional, kind of like just walking in with the high guard, wasn't utilizing the angles as we've seen him do in the past. But I don't know. I'm suspecting we'll see the best of him in this fight. I think these are probably the two best guys in the flyweight division as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So I'll also have a breakdown for this fight as well. Probably end of this week or
Make sure
next
to
week as
tune
well.
into that, guys.
Yeah. So
That's the boxing life.
yeah. So you heard it from Zico. So I'll
Yeah,
have that up soon,
and the
guys.
fight
So
diary.
yeah, and the fight diary. So yeah, should be a good one. And
Oh,
then
the goat.
I'm
Now
probably
this
gonna get
this
shit
is the
for
goat.
I'm probably gonna get shit for covering this, but I know Zico,
Hey, a fight
you're
to
into
fight.
you're in a fight to fight.
Yes, I do follow the influencer scene. They call me a casual, but I mean, it is I do find it entertaining. Salt Pappy, the goat Jake Paul. But yeah,
He's actually fighting
yeah,
a boxer this time,
yeah,
though.
yeah. This time,
Well,
it
I guess
really
Tommy Fury is a boxer as well, but
yeah, but it you can really see that Jake really wants this. He's not going for these um MMA guys in boxing anymore. This is the fight for him to start really building his resume against a pretty game opponent, Andre August, not really the most well-known guy, and hasn't really been so active. But from what I've seen, Andre has a style that can give a guy like Jake problems. I think as what we saw or what I saw in his last fight with Nate Diaz, Jake seems to have real issues when it comes to inside fighting. Even when Nate was hitting him with those, pity pat punches, those really slow punches, Jake still didn't know how to deal with them, when he was on the inside. So I
yeah,
mean, I think that's an aspect of Jake's game that he really needs to work on when guys fight him in that position.
yeah,
He needs to really make his style more diverse. You're at if you're really serious about making this your career, you can't just be a um this one attack kind of guy. In
yeah,
most of Jake's fights, it's always just the right hand. He's always just looking for that. But once you start stepping up in levels and not fighting bags of milk, like Ben Askren or these retired MMA guys,
Yeah,
you need to really start making your style more diverse. And
yeah, yeah,
hopefully, we get to see that with his fight against Andre August. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Andre is also very really wants to win this.
yeah, yeah. I'm
It's
sure.
a big money,
Yeah, big money. I'm sure he's
even more
getting a good
money.
payday for this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So fair play to him. Like I
yeah,
think he hasn't fought in quite a he's only fought once or something, I believe, and
yeah,
I can't remember. I was looking at his record and I saw there's an old fight on YouTube. Looks okay. Like I
yeah.
think
I mean,
it's good matchmaking, isn't it? I
yeah.
think from his team, they're just
It's
trying to get experience
yeah.
up. So
It's the type of fight Jake should, go for.
yeah, I think
No more talk of Canelo at this moment. Let's stick to this.
yeah, yeah. This is his level.
This is
Whether he'll ever get to a world level, I don't know. But um, credit to he's taking it seriously, and you kind of
yes, yes.
as much
Mm,
as I don't like the pantomime around him sometimes, I think he's taking it serious. He wants to
mm,
fight actual boxers now and build up his record and maybe challenge for a world title. Whether that happens or not, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think it will happen, but
You never know.
you never know, and he brings so
And
much
Ganu
money.
Fury.
Yeah, and he as much I know exactly, and as much as like with Jake Paul, as much as like obviously a very polarizing guy. You love him or you hate him, kind of thing.
Yeah,
It is bringing eyes to the sport of boxing, and
yeah, and a lot
as
of
long
money as well.
and a lot of money.
A
But
lot of money.
as long as it's sticking to the boxing and not, in my opinion, Zico, that not the influencer side. If he's taking it seriously, I'm okay with it. But
Yeah.
it's when the like the whole Logan Paul and what's his name, the jiu-jitsu
KSI.
guy. No, the
Oh,
what's he called?
I know what you're talking about. Well, I forget. Dylan
See,
Dennis. Dylan Dennis.
Dylan
Dylan
Dennis.
Dennis. Yeah.
Like that was like
That
I
was
watched the highlights for that. Oh my god! Like
that was a
what was
circus. That
yeah.
was so. I feel like that was so disrespectful to the sport of boxing,
It was. But then
especially.
I saw
Sorry,
people
sorry.
I saw people like angry after that. Like, why did I pay this much money for this like event? It was awful. I'm like,
He kicked him.
like what? I know, but like
Dylan went down, tried to grapple Logan,
I
and
know
kicked
it's
him.
crazy. But like, what are people expecting? Like, it's a former MMA guy who's known to be a jiu-jitsu guy and Logan Paul, who's not,
WWE,
yeah, WWE star.
W,
Just yeah, man. But
influencer.
hopefully, Jake Paul kind of turns this around, and
Yeah,
he let's see how far he goes.
yeah. I mean, never know.
You never know.
You never know.
And
Oh,
then
the
the big one,
the
the
big one,
one.
the very big one.
What did you think of this event, Zico?
Oh my
When it
god,
came
that
out?
was. This is an event on the level of a UFC card. Because usually I think with boxing events, a lot of it is really just focused on
The
the
main
main
event.
event, the main event. Whereas UFC, even the fights below this, the fights before the main event, a lot of people are really tuning in, and that's something we have right now, like a card wherein I'll be tuning in to almost all of these,
All the
to a
fights,
lot of
yeah.
these fights, and it's crazy to think that I believe Dimitri Bivol is the world champion here, but he's not even
Yeah.
the main event. So
Uh,
yeah, it's a really big fight, and I'm really looking forward to this.
yeah.
And it looks like they want to set up Joshua versus Wilder with
Yeah.
this one, but
Yeah.
the guys they're gonna face, it might not happen.
Yeah, it might not happen
Might
exactly.
not
So
happen.
starting with that, well, let's go through them. We've got obviously Joshua Otto Wallen. I think that could be a big banana peel for Joshua. I think Otto Wallen. I think he's a solid like
Yeah,
southpaw. Like we saw him obviously against Fury, caused him problems as well.
very
Yeah,
crafty,
yeah,
very crafty. Not the
and
strongest, not really the strongest puncher, and his style may not be the most appealing to the casual fan, but guys just can't land good on him, and he hits you with not the strongest punches, but he flusters you with a lot of these smaller punches, and they rack up.
Yeah,
And Fury had quite some trouble with this guy. I remember seeing it. I thought Fury might have lost, but
yeah,
Otto Allen is a game opponent for
yeah,
Joshua. And also like seeing Joshua's last few performances, it looks like the killer instinct has died a bit since
yeah,
his loss to Usyk, but maybe he can turn that around in this fight. But this is going to be a tough fight for both of these guys. This is not a
yeah,
cakewalk. This is not a
yeah,
cakewalk for Joshua.
yeah,
Otto Allen's very crafty, and Joshua's really gonna have to um, really gonna have to work, really gonna have
yeah,
to work this one.
yeah. Do you think Joshua will get the win, or do you think it will be a close like 12 rounder?
You
Or
know what? I'm gonna go with probably the less popular opinion,
oh,
but I'm gonna go for Otto. I'm gonna go for Otto on this
oh,
one. I'm gonna go for Otto
okay,
on
fair
this one. I
enough.
think he's gonna pepper him with a lot of these,
Yeah,
with
the
a
right
lot of
hand.
these small punches. The right hand, and I think Joshua's gonna get flustered and irritated by all these punches, and
Okay,
I think they're just gonna rack up, and Joshua might. I feel like he's gonna be confused as to why he's not really being able to land on Auto. So I'm gonna go
okay,
with Auto. I'm gonna go with Auto on this one.
okay.
It's not the popular opinion, but
Yeah,
that's what I see.
fair enough. Fair enough. I get you. I'm still gonna go with Joshua. I think.
Okay. All right, let's bet.
Let's bet on it. I just think he's got more punching power and
A lot more.
a lot more,
A
and
lot more.
I just feel like he's going to land the right hand. Well, I could see Otto Weiler landing the left on him as well, but
But it won't
I,
be as big
I
of an impact.
yeah, I just feel like Joshua can
Yeah,
sit,
just
and the fact he's been in there with like Usyk now, like the best southpaw you can possibly go in with right now. Maybe Zhang's only the other one I'd be a bit worried about if Joshua faced, but
yeah, we're
I
missing Zhang in this one.
yeah, I
Zhang and
know.
Ganu should have been here.
That's the fight we should have got. But yeah, I just feel Joshua will have enough to. I'm gonna go Joshua knockout. I think he can get the knockout in this fight.
Yeah.
And then obviously
Yeah.
we got Wilder and Joseph Parker, and I think Joseph Parker can cause Wilder some problems because, well, just hear me out, okay?
Okay, okay.
Like he's obviously
All right.
if you've ever watched Joseph Parker, you can move around the ring really well, really good lateral movement. Whereas with Wilder, he needs to be like set on his
Windmill.
feet to like land that right hand. I know. So,
Windmill punches.
and we
But
obviously. Sorry, off you go.
uh, but the thing about like when you're fighting Wilder, the thing is, you can be perfect. Like sorry, Wilder just needs to be perfect for 1 second.
Yeah,
He literally just needs to be perfect for 1 second because he has a right hand like I've never
yeah,
seen. But
yeah,
I do think Parker will as you said, the lateral movement will cause Wilder problems. Wilder's technique is still not really the best, but that right hand, it could literally be the last second of the very
yeah,
final round, and he finds a way to land it.
yeah,
It's over. And
yeah,
he was able to land it on Fury, so I feel like he might eventually be able to land it.
yeah. We'll see what happens, but I think you're probably right. I think he will eventually land the right hand and probably knock him out if we're being frank. But I do think, maybe in the first kind of six
Yeah,
rounds, I can see Joseph Parker just moving around, not running away from him, but
yeah, moving
using
around.
lots of lateral movement, using
Yeah,
his jab to the body, and frustrating
but
Wilder. Because
but
Wilder's
that
he's getting a bit older now as well. That's the other
yeah.
thing. So, you know, how long's this going to keep up for him?
Yeah, but I think the other thing to take into account, eventually all that movement is gonna make you tired, And
Sure.
once you start getting tired, after round six, in the later rounds, that's when Wilder becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Um, like just a bit power from Wilder's right hand,
Yeah.
and night night.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But like, it'll be interesting to see. If if like Joseph Parker, you never know. He might just go. I doubt he will, but if he goes for it at any point as well, you just because he'll. No, you don't go in there to get knocked out, obviously, but he might
Might
just
just go
think,
for it.
yeah, you
Fuck
never
it.
know. You never know.
It might.
But
No,
I
I
doubt
mean
it.
that might actually be a smart game plan because I mean Wilder, he never expects someone to just go straight at him toe to toe.
Exactly,
So that might actually be a smart
and that
move by
and
Parker. It'll really surprise Wilder in the beginning.
and obviously that's what Fury did as well. He went to Wilder,
Yeah,
especially in that second fight, and Wilder didn't know
yeah,
what to do. He couldn't,
yeah.
like, actually didn't know what to do.
Fury really utilized that extra weight.
Uh,
I'd see him like almost lying down on Wilder in the clinch, and
uh,
a big guy like that with that much weight on you,
yeah,
that makes you tired.
exactly. And Joseph Park, like, he's obviously not the biggest guy, but I still think he'll be heavier than Wilder. I assume. Maybe I might be wrong, but
Yeah. Isn't Wilder one of the
yeah,
smaller
yeah,
heavyweights?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So no, I'll obviously be tuning into that because, like you said, you'll be paying attention for those full 12 rounds because at any moment you
Boom,
could just, yeah, exactly.
boom. I want to
So
see classic Wilder with the windmill punch.
the
I
windmill.
want to see that come back. I mean, it's
Yeah.
ugly, but it works.
Uh-huh. Oh god. And the
And
thing
then
is, Parker would probably get caught by it as well.
yeah,
Oh man.
maybe
And then we've got
my
your
idol,
boy,
the
your idol,
K-pop guy from the K-pop group.
Bivol.
I really want to see him come out with some K-pop music. He's half Korean.
I
It
know he's
needs to
half Korean.
happen.
Yeah. Does he
But
speak
yeah,
Korean?
Viva. I saw him like speak a sentence
Oh,
once,
okay.
just to appeal to the Korean fans.
Oh, right.
If he was Filipino, all the Philippines would be tuning into this fight. I don't think he's big in Korea though, but
Yeah,
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 Bivol versus Arthur with an
yeah,
H.
yeah,
It would have been nice against Arthur without an H, but
yeah,
still a good fight. I'm
yeah,
not really. I don't really know Arthur Linden, right?
yeah. Lyndon,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't-
yeah. That's it.
yeah, I don't know so much about him, but from what I've seen, I think Bivol takes this one, you
Yeah,
know, quite convincingly.
yeah. So see with Lyndon, he's got a very good jab. So I did a breakdown on him ages ago, I think, and I did get shit for it as well. I kind of compared his jab to Larry Holmes,
Oh,
and he does. He has I think he has one of the best jabs at light heavyweight. Maybe
yeah.
after Bivol himself. Like he throws like an up jab, really quick, really sharp, sticks it in your face. So that's another interesting challenge for Dimitri to see how he gets past that. I assume he will, obviously, but I think this. I don't think he'll knock him out. I think this will be a 12 rounder. I think he'll struggle with the
Yeah,
jab at times, but Beevil's movement will eventually get to Arthur. So no, I think it's a good. Obviously we want the Beater BF fight, but this is just like all the other fights as well. They're all tied up. Boatsi is fighting Aziz. The only other fight I might have liked to see was Bivol versus Yard. I think that would have been a good fight
oh
potentially.
yeah, that'd been
Um,
nice.
so, but it is what it is. I think Arthur can definitely cause some problems, but yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited to see him fight again. Yeah, because it's been like a year, has it
Bivol.
not? Yeah, Bivol. Yeah,
Oh yeah, same. I mean, I think I think it's been more than a year
has it? Yeah,
since he's fought. I'm not sure,
it was
but yeah,
Ramirez, wasn't it?
yeah, Zordo. I mean, how long, that was also in Saudi Arabia. How long was that? I mean, almost almost a year or more than a
almost
year.
a year or more than a year. Yeah,
Yeah, but excited to see. I'm also very excited to see Bevo come back. His style is just so mesmerizing to watch. The
hmm
the Soviet in and out style, and I
yeah,
honestly think like nobody has been able to figure out his footwork and his in and out movement, and I think that's what we're gonna see again here. Even if Arthur throws the jab, the moment he throws it, Bevo's gonna be out and
yeah,
then Beeble will just step back in when Arthur least expects it.
yeah,
So that's what I
yeah,
see happening. And yeah, I also don't think it's gonna be a knockout. And Beeble's not really a knockout puncher.
yeah.
Maybe TKO, maybe I'm not sure, but yeah,
Actually, yeah,
just happy to see Beeble come back, and Art. This is Arthur's moment, and maybe he can take this moment,
yeah,
and you never know.
yeah. And then I guess I don't know if you know any of the other guys in the card, Zico. There's the Australian cruiserweight Opatia. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I've heard of Opatia,
Yeah,
but
he
I haven't really.
and then he's fighting a guy called what's he called again? He's a British guy. I think he's called Zoro or something like that. But
Are
Opatia,
these guys? They're also light heavyweight.
they're cruiserweight.
Oh, okay.
So Opatia is a cruiserweight, but he's a southpaw, and he's a bad man. He's going to cause some problems in the cruiserweight division. I think he could be a future star. I think he's quite small. He's like a small big cruiserweight, if that makes sense.
Small picture.
Like he's
like
not
like
there's
I
much
mean,
bigger.
yeah, I think I understand. Like Manny was a small big welterweight in a way. A small guy,
Yeah,
but pretty wide
yeah,
for like
exactly.
that. Okay.
Like if you watch Opatia's last fight, like he was facing a bigger guy, but um, I really rate him. I think he looks really dangerous. He's got punching power. He's got good combinations. Yeah, so I think this is a good platform for him to kind of make a name for himself on this event. So I'm looking forward to watch him, and I suspect he will get the victory. And then who else? We got Jarrell Miller and Dubois. Obviously controversial with Miller getting a chance with all the drug stuff. Obviously, he got caught many times taking like performance enhancer drugs, but I
Maybe
think
still
it's
is.
maybe he still is. But I think he fought last year. I think against an
He
Australian
was a
heavyweight.
kickboxer
Yeah,
before.
he's a kickboxer as
Yeah,
well. I
that's
think
how
he
I knew
cheated.
him.
I'm pretty sure he
Uh,
cheated in kickboxing as well.
oh
Did he not?
damn.
So I hope they're doing drug tests on him. But
And
jeez,
knowing how pro sports are, probably not.
oh god. But he's facing obviously
Yeah,
Dubois.
Dubois.
Obviously he came off the loss from Usyk, so
The low blow controversy.
yeah. It wasn't a. It
Well,
wasn't a low. I mean, it
it
was a low
wasn't.
blow. It
It,
was. It was. Sorry, for me. I know
well,
you said
okay.
it wasn't,
I
but
thought it wasn't.
I think it
I
was.
honestly just felt like the shorts are too high to really tell. But honestly,
Okay.
even let's say even if it was or even if it wasn't, Usyk was still gonna win either way.
hmm
To be honest, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Yeah. So I don't like. Who do you think will come out on top in that? Do you think Dubois should get that victory, or do you think Miller will make a huge comeback, knock out Dubois, and then call out Joshua and Wilder for a fight?
I see Miller winning by leg kick. But I think Dubois
Imagine.
should have this in the bag, especially with everything that's been going on with Miller.
Yeah.
I don't think all those drugs in his system, has been helping him. I'm pretty sure there have been some side effects.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. And he's like,
But,
this is the other thing with Mel. He's so big.
yeah,
He's like one of the heaviest heavyweights like
yeah.
out there right now. But oh god, so yeah, I think Dubois should win, but who knows? Miller might just be very durable and be able to take his punches. But I think Dubois should be able to get the job done. Um, And then I'm trying to think who else is on this card. I think Hrgovic, that heavyweight's on. The Croatian heavyweight. Don't know if you heard of him before.
Didn't
And
he fight? Was it Zhang? No, no, no.
he did.
Oh,
He beat Zhang.
okay. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Yeah, he beat
Okay,
Zhang.
okay, okay.
And that was a close fight as well. People thought maybe Zhang maybe took that fight, but that gives Hrgovic, makes him look quite good now.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
Zhang's a top guy right now.
yeah,
So, Hrgovic is on his way.
yeah, exactly. And then I think there's another. He's a Russian, or I think he's Russian heavyweight. I can't, for the life of me, cannot pronounce his name. But he's based out in Canada, and he has like
Arthur Benavidez?
Yeah, he trains with him. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh man, I
what's
feel
his
like
name?
I feel like he's also from he's also Chechen. like
Yeah,
Benavidez.
he's something
Is he
like
Chechen?
he's something like that.
Dagestani, Chechen?
Yeah, something like that.
Those mountain Russians.
Yeah.
Something else.
And,
Something else
but
in their water.
his training is like Arthur's is like he does some like weird training techniques. You should check it out
Like
after.
the hammer thing that Arthur
Yeah,
does.
yeah. He does the hammer thing as well.
I still never understood that.
Yeah,
The hammer. I feel like that might be for the wrist.
Yeah, it helps your
Yeah.
wrists and your forearm strength. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
probably.
That's why I when I read
But-
about it.
Yeah. That's who Hrgovic is fighting?
No, he's fighting.
Okay.
He's fighting someone else. Let me just double check quickly. So we've got Hrgovic versus Mark Demori, who's an Australian heavyweight. I never heard of him before this event, and he's called Maknadov.
Maknadov.
Yeah, and he's fighting Caballel. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Maknadov.
He's
Boxer. How do you spell that? Arslanbek Makhmudov?
yeah, him. Yeah,
Oh, this guy.
this guy exactly.
This
yeah.
guy. I've seen him on TikTok.
Yeah,
Those edits. Those edits where they make a guy look scary, and this guy
Yeah.
always shows up. Yeah. Oh, this guy. I've seen him.
yeah.
I've seen
So-
highlights. Have never really watched him, but
Yeah.
he's scary on the TikTok edits.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's fighting a guy called Caballel who the only guy I kind of know he's beaten like a big name, Derek Chisora. And he also, he's always like one of Joshua's sparring partners. I know he's like been in his camp quite a lot.
Damn.
And then there's also the Cuban heavyweight, Frank Sanchez.
Oh, I know Frank. I know Frank.
And
Frank fought what's his name? Effie Ajagba.
yes.
That guy.
Yeah, and he beat him.
African, yeah.
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 And-
Frank's the Cubans, man. They're so slick.
Yeah, he's a good mover. Like,
Yeah.
I think, and
Yeah.
he's got some power as well behind him.
Yeah.
He's a bit like Joseph Parker, but probably a bit more better technically, in my opinion. But he just like, a lot of these Cubans, they just kind of need a big name to kind of get their name more well known.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Isn't boxing is illegal in Cuba, right? Pro boxing.
well, I think they're starting to let some of them do it. But I think they're still quite strict on who they let become a pro boxer or not.
That's such the sad thing about Cuba. I honestly think we could have seen so much more world champions coming from Cuba because their amateur system is so good. It's just that they never really got the opportunity. So I'm really hoping this. I still don't get why there's a ban on it, but I'm really hoping we start seeing more of these guys from Cuba because they're killers out there in Cuba. It's just that they haven't had the chance to really shine.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Andy Cruz?
Sorry,
Andy Cruz?
and Andy Cruz. Oh no.
I think that's
Cuban also.
Cuban, yeah.
I was thinking of Andy Ruiz.
He's he's won he won the last Olympics. He won gold, and he's now professional now as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, he's considered like one of the best or he was considered like the best amateur. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it should be a good event. I'm looking forward to it. Uh, Definitely be watching it,
Oh
and
yeah,
I hope.
this is the most jam-packed event of December.
Yeah,
The Day of Reckoning. I love the name
they
also.
ever. I know the name's cool as well.
Day of Reckoning. Sounds like a comic book issue.
Yeah, yeah,
The
it does.
Day of Reckoning.
Or a
But yeah,
blockbuster film or something. I
yeah,
guess.
blockbuster.
Yeah,
The wallpaper looks like a blockbuster film.
yeah, it does. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, really excited for this.
should be good.
Yeah.
And then kind of the
Oh,
main last one.
Asia, the biggest one in Asia. Oh, please, Tapales, please.
So,
But
does Tapales have a chance? Do you think he's
Tapales will
he's
be
obviously a southpaw. He does have
Southpaw.
some power
Yeah,
behind
that's
him.
that's the Pinoy thing. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
people have noticed, but almost everyone here is a Southpaw. It gets annoying because I'm Orthodox, and every time I ever spar with someone, they have to be a damn Southpaw. But yeah, I think Tapales is going to be turned into tamales and be eat. I hope not. I hope not.
uh,
But I just from everything I've seen, it's Inoue just beats him in almost every aspect of the game.
yeah,
I think what the Palace has that will cause the most problems for Inoue is the stance itself. He's
yeah.
southpaw, and southpaws are always a hassle to deal with. But I mean, if you compare them with everything else, speed,
Hmm.
defense, footwork, power, Inoue
Yeah,
has it all.
yeah.
And even when the Palace won his belt from um I can't even say the guy's name properly,
I
but from
know
the
the. It's,
Uzbekistan,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
guy, I know it was also surrounded with some controversy, but so even from that alone, from that performance alone, and having him fight, in a way, um,
It's a tough ask, isn't it?
it's a very tough task. This is He's a big underdog. I'll just say that
Yeah.
he's a big. Nobody's really giving him a chance,
Uh,
but the Filipino spirit never gives up.
you
We
never know.
we,
Like he
we
could
can't let
just he
yeah
might just land one big left hand
pull off
on the
you might
monster
just
and
go
take him out.
Manny Pacquiao mode.
Exactly.
you know, we need Manny Pacquiao's mom to be in there and start doing her spiritual stuff like she does with Manny. Have you
But
ever seen that
oh,
when
I've
she
never
prays?
seen that. Oh, does that
It's funny.
really is that a
You should
thing?
see it. I know there's the one fight Manny had, and Manny's mom was like, "What's doing that to Manny?" So that's what we need. We need spirits.
Alright, spirits.
We need spirits
Oh
to be.
god, the witchcraft.
Yes, but
Jeez.
yeah,
Well, maybe that's what he needs to win this fight. But yeah, I
but
really struggle seeing
yeah,
anything but a Inoue win. But I
yeah.
think, let's say he does win, like,
Who
two-time
in a way
undisputed. Yeah,
or
Inoue.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he'll be a two-way undisputed champion, like Terence
yeah.
Crawford. Like, is there any point staying at junior featherweight, or should he move up to
I think I
bantamweight?
think I think he
Not
should move up.
bantamweight, featherweight,
I
because
think
he's a
he
super
should.
bantamweight right now. Sorry, so he'd move up to featherweight.
It's the issue with boxing. There's so
I
many
know,
heavyweight
I
class,
know.
right? I
I
also
was, I was reading the screen.
wait.
That's why.
So this is a 125, right? Oh wait, no.
This is
What?
this is
Junior
one
feather.
120,
22,
122, 22. Yes,
and then after this is 125,
yeah.
right?
I think yeah, that's right. I'm just
But
checking just to double check.
if Inoue does move up, a super fight I'd like to really see is him and Loma. What wasn't Loma? Didn't Loma used to be 125 as well before?
120. It's 126. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wasn't that Loma's weight class before?
Yeah, that's where he started. I'm pretty sure, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
so yeah. But then I'm trying to think who's at featherweight right now. Who could he face? I know, like
The maybe the guy Tapales fought Murad John. Yeah. the Uzbek. That's a name that comes up. Um,
Who
let me
else have
see
we got?
here.
We've got obviously Lee Wood.
Well, that's a
Uh,
good.
but I think he's moving up in weight to super featherweight, from what I've heard. There's obviously that Mexican guy Lopez. He's
Oh
looked
yeah,
really good as well. He's a really tricky guy. Um, Alberto
Luis
Lopez.
Lopez. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got a crazy style. I
yeah,
saw his fight with Conlon.
yeah,
The dude was throwing everywhere. But yeah, that'd be a good fight as well. Oh here, Luis Neri in
yeah.
featherweight, junior featherweight. Sam Goodman. I'm not really sure. Well, Fulton. I thought Fulton would have been a really tough
Better,
fight for
yeah, yeah,
Inoue. Yeah, and Inoue just ran straight right through him. I honestly thought Fulton was the toughest guy for Inoue at this weight class. So if Inoue could beat him, and then when Inoue becomes undisputed, then I don't
Mhm.
really. I think he should move up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's no point staying in
Yeah,
that division once you've won it. And I don't
yeah,
think there's not really that many big fights there, but I think
yeah.
if he moves up to featherweight, there's bigger fights.
Yeah, there's a
There's a
lot of
lot.
Ray Vargas,
Yeah.
Rob C. Ramirez, Luis Lopez.
Uh,
These are
Lara,
nice.
Lara as well.
Yeah, these are
So,
good fights for Inoue.
and how far do you think he can go, Zico? Do you think he can like go up to lightweight, or is that a stretch too far? Like, and fight maybe Tank Davis or something like that.
Oh, that would be well. If Inoue could pack up the weight, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
That will break numbers in boxing.
yeah,
Literally, like Inoue versus Tank. Two of the biggest power punchers, but Inoue is just he's pretty small. But Manny was even smaller than Inoue, and
yeah.
I used to be Inoue's weight, and I'm like 170. I'm like 175 right now. I'm a
Yeah.
light heavyweight. Inoue just needs more of that. Just needs to eat more, I guess. But I
Yeah.
think realistically, I feel like the farthest Inoue could probably reach is.
Like super featherweight, maybe,
Mm,
which is
one
like,
lightweight is pushing it. Lightweight is pushing it.
yeah,
But super
it's
featherweight, I can still see him reaching super featherweight.
yeah,
Lightweight,
it's a tough
maybe.
ask.
It's a tough
130.
ask.
So because you think about
Where
it,
did he start again?
he
Inoue started
started
at
at
like
light flyweight. I'm pretty sure. So he's
damn.
one or flyweight. I think he started at so flyweight, super flyweight, bantamweight, super bantamweight. So he's
Damn.
if he win, yeah. So and then but he's undisputed at bantamweight, and if he wins this fight, super bantamweight. So it's just
Like,
you know
but Manny, if
if
Manny
Manny,
went far, maybe
exactly.
Inoue could do the same thing.
Uh,
Maybe Inoue could make history again and be another eight eight division champion
I
or
know.
seven or six.
Uh-huh.
But you never know. But like, yeah, I think 130 is the most realistic. Yeah, super featherweight is probably the most realistic he can reach, and lightweight 135. That's quite pushing it. But if
Yeah.
he does reach 135, that's probably where he can make
The
you
most
know
money.
the
Yeah.
most money, the biggest stars. You got Shakur, Gervonta, the Devin, Loma's
Yeah.
also there. A lot of big names for at that weight class. But
Yeah.
what I would like to see though is if for Loma to come back down, if Loma does come back, because
Yeah.
I feel like Loma's kind of at a point right now where I'm not really sure what's happening with him. He's been
Yeah.
quite inactive after the Haney loss. What do you think of that? Like Inoue versus Loma at like 126
Or
one.
something like that. Yeah, no, I'd
Yeah.
like to see that. I think
I feel
yeah, I
like this
think
could be like Loma's last hoorah
yeah.
if he
I
wants to
think
retire.
I think he could cause some problems as well. And obviously he's used to the bigger weight as well, but he'll still be quite small, if you know what I mean. Even if he was
In
to
a way.
fight, yeah. Compared,
Yeah, yeah,
if you compare the two
true.
of them, I think
Yeah,
I would definitely, I think it's an interesting fight. I think I'd probably still favor Inoue, but
yeah.
Lomachenko has more experience at those weight classes, so it could make it quite competitive, I think. But you just kind of have to feel for Loma. He's kind of getting on a bit. He's going to
Yeah,
be in his late 30s soon. I think he's
yeah.
going to fight Cambosis Jr. in Australia next year. I think that's the
Who
fight
do
to
you
see.
have? Who do you have winning that?
I'd
I'm
probably
still
still
going for Loma. I'm gonna
I'll
look.
still favor Loma, um, but I think Cambosis would get all. He'll have more opportunities to fight in the pocket compared to with like Devin Haney, for example. You'd fancy
Mhm.
his chances, Cambosis. I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't clinch up so quickly.
yeah, yeah. I think he would make more of a fight with Loma. Um,
I feel like that
but
might be a bad idea. With fighting Loma that close.
yeah, I
You
know.
think? Because I feel like Loma wants to be in those pocket
Yeah,
exchanges.
that's true. That's a good point. But that's kind of I feel Cambosis is more of a counter puncher naturally. He likes kind
Mm,
of being on the back foot. So,
yeah,
Loma would naturally come to him. So I think stylistically it could be quite a good fight.
yeah,
But yeah, Loma, uh, you just kind of what I'm a big of. I think there's so many people that are Loma fans. You kind of
yeah.
want to see him like just get something on his side.
You think he won that? Or what do you think was the real outcome of
I
Haney
think
versus Loma?
I personally
You
think
think?
he won by 2 rounds.
Mm,
That's the way I've scored it. I've watched it like 3 times. I've scored,
yeah,
you know, I think one of the times I scored it a draw. I'm pretty sure. The
mm.
second time I watched it, but
That was my initial reaction.
yeah, I
It
think
was so close. It might have just been a draw. But
yeah,
yeah,
I think it, like
that was a sad day.
Haney was hitting him with some really good power shots to the body that
Yeah,
was clearly affecting Loma,
yeah,
and you know, I just felt like Loma's output was a lot more. But the issue with Loma was he only kind of went like full Loma mode for like 3 rounds, where he was like throwing the combinations, changing the angles, and then the
yeah.
other rounds they were very close to score. He
It's
wasn't
like
his output.
he gets too relaxed.
Yeah,
It's like he'll be content with those and not put that same energy in the
yeah,
rest of the rounds.
yeah. And the other thing as well, I feel I not that I know people make fun of Devin Haney for not having like knockout power, but I think he has respectable power, and you
Yeah,
could even tell in that fight, Loma,
yeah,
he was still hesitant at times to commit.
yeah,
He didn't want to get hit by the right hand.
yeah.
Um,
And and the size issue as well. Like
yeah,
you could see just how much bigger Haney was in that fight. It's like one punch from Haney equals 5 punches from Loma.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like I hope he can maybe get a few more big fights. Maybe get the fight with Inoue. That would be a huge fight. I think.
Last hoorah.
Really, yeah, exactly. One last hurrah. Maybe he could win as well. Who knows? But, yeah, no. Hopefully, he can get one last big fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think that's us, Zico. But what fight are you looking forward to most, like in December, out of all of them? I'll remind you. I'll go through them again if that helps.
So many. Well, the goat,
No,
Jacob.
the
Well, obviously, I gotta rep the Philippines because I'm Filipino. So I'm looking forward to this one the most. Because
okay.
I obviously Philippines. I want Philippines to win. I think the Palace is our only world
Champion.
champion right
Yeah.
now in the Philippines. There's Casemiro, but Casemiro is becoming so irrelevant.
Yeah.
He's stuck fighting in some casinos while Inoue is still fighting at this stage. So
Yeah.
hopefully Tapales gets the job done. So I'm looking forward to this the most. And aside from this, Bivol,
Yeah.
because Bivol's my favorite guy to watch right now, and I love his style. So this is the second thing I'm looking forward to the most because it's been so long. It's been so long since we've seen Bivol fight, and I
Yeah.
just want to see that style, that Soviet style, back in action again. And I'm hoping this fight with Arthur with an H can lead to the fight with Arthur without an H. And hopefully Arthur better they're both Arthurs. It's making me confused. Hopefully Better BF gets his
Yeah.
win against what is
Callum
his name
Smith.
again? Callum
Callum
Smith,
Smith.
and both guys can fight. Both their fights can finally be set up.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if like
I
you
hope no
said,
more politics.
yeah,
It
if
seems like
Peter,
this.
the
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
The Saudis are, yeah, you're right. The Saudis are helping make these fights happen now,
Yes.
and
Yes.
hopefully, yeah, you're right. We can get Bivol versus Peter Biev
Yeah.
in 2024.
Yeah.
They
But
can they can
I feel like even when they fight, this might be a lose lose for Bivol because I feel like even if he wins against Beterbiev, people are gonna be like, Beterbiev was old. He wasn't the same.
yeah,
You know how
yeah,
fans
yeah,
are because Beterbiev is getting quite old, and
yeah,
we'll see how he is with Callum Smith. I mean, isn't Beterbiev about to be 40, or
yeah.
isn't
He'll
he
be 40
40?
next year, I think.
So
Yeah.
at that stage in your life, one year can do a lot of difference to
Hmm.
at that age. But Beterbiev is still a beast, and I do think he'll have another knockout in his resume against Callum Smith, and this one can finally happen. Vivo versus Beterbiev. So yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to this. For me, it's the most, like, in terms of pure technique, not in terms of money or fame, but in terms of pure technique against one another. Bivol versus Beterbiev is a true 50-50.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
after this performance.
Yeah. Fingers crossed it happens then.
Yep.
Zico, thanks so much for coming on again, man. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
And
you.
I keep saying I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, and I'll definitely get you back on. And do you want to tell them where to find you on social media?
Yeah, guys. So you can find me, at the Fight Diary on YouTube and at the Fight Diary on TikTok. I'm trying to be more active again. There were past few months I haven't been as active because I was quite busy, but I'm trying to get back into it. And my content is pretty similar to Jamie's. Just think of it as Boxing Life Junior. you know, I do what he does, but on a smaller scale. Um, I'm the apprentice. I'm his apprentice basically. So I'm trying to work myself up there. And if you wanna, also tune in to my channel, then you're very glad. I'd be very glad to have you tune into that. And yeah, so the Fight Diary on YouTube and TikTok, and see you there.
Awesome. All right. I'll leave it there.
All
Thanks
right,
so much, Zico. I really appreciate it, man.
all right, no
And
problem.
I'll get you on again.
Yeah,
Thanks again, man.
all right. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
And it was a good stream. It was a fun stream.
That's good. It was good,
All
man.
right,
Thanks for that.
good seeing you again, Jamie.
Thanks.